Hey guys, Melissa Ashenbrenner of Fox Hills Photography. I am going to show you today how to make an image into an image with a transparent background, I guess. So I have been asked this a couple times actually, and just recently here by my sister, so I figured, well, it's easier to actually show somebody. If you're like me, I am a very visual person, and compared to actually being told step by step what to do. So here we go. We are going to use this cute little gaffer here as our image. And you want to make sure that he's in Photoshop, that your image selected is in Photoshop. You're going to then go up to this file button and new. So you're going to want to give it a name. I'm going to go T Flower Bear. And you want to make sure that you have your image selected. I like to go in inches, and I am going to do a fairly large file size. I'm going to go 16 by 24. The larger the file size, I find the easier, because it's a lot easier to make your file smaller than it is to increase a smaller file into a larger one. Generally, when you do that, depending on the file, it can become extremely pixelated, and we don't want that. So, but for most applications that you're going to use a transparent background in is going to be on the web, so a smaller file is completely okay. You do want your resolution set at 300 pixels per inch. Your color mode you will want as a RGB color. It's a relatively wide color range that most applications, webs, phones, everything, they kind of use that. So then you want to make sure that your background content is selected as transparent. You don't want color or white. Click OK. That is going to open up a whole new tab here, and this is your transparent background. So now this little side button here that says layer 1, you can rename it if you want to, you don't need to. But you do want to make a duplicate layer out of that. I always duplicate all of my layers. It's easy when you duplicate a layer and you work on one layer, you at least have that bottom layer as a safety, so to speak, in case you ever kind of mess up. So we've got our layer 1 copy over here. Now we're going to go back over to our flower bear picture. I'm going to give you some shortcut keys. So I am also on an iMac, so your Command A might be different. So basically, I'll give you two options here. I pressed Command A, and that's going to select all of my image. You can go up to the select button here and press all. So we've got it all. Then I'm going to press Command C, which is basically you go into edit and copy. Now we're going to go back over to our flower bear, and we're going to press Command V or edit and paste. Now, as you can see, he's kind of a little bit over to the side. That's okay. The reason for that being is that my image is actually bigger than the file that I'm now putting them on, like my transparent background. So in order to fix that, you want to press Command T or edit and free transform. It's going to come up with these side buttons here. These side buttons, you can just make it either smaller or larger, or you can just take your little cursor and move him off to the side. I don't want him basically changed in file size, so I'm just going to move him over. Press your check mark button, pardon me. And now that second layer has now changed into your photo. So now what you want to do is you want to make sure that that top layer is selected. You're going to go down to the bottom here and create a vector mask on him. And then you are going to go ahead and make sure that your paintbrush tool is selected over here. And then you want your color to be black. So now we're going to select, I like to go into this kind of little like wand kind of deal thing. You right click on it, you've got the quick selection tool, it could be put on that, or your magic wand tool. I like using magic wand better than the quick selection, depending on the application that I'm doing. For this kind of thing, the wand tool is kind of perfect. So I'm going to do that. It's going to outline the little bear here and going to actually have our entire image outlined as well. Now we're going to go back into our paintbrush here. You can change the size of your paintbrush by just kind of clicking that top little number there and changing the size. Smaller, obviously for more detailed, larger if you have a huge area to kind of cover. So I'm going to make it large because it's not going to actually erase my bear quite yet. I have him selected out. Your hardness is basically just that, how hard the outside edge of your paintbrush is. So right now I have him fairly hard. He's got a nice hard line. If I go over to 0% hardness, it's going to kind of fan it out there. So it's a little bit more of a softer brush. Right now it doesn't really matter if it's hard or soft, so I'm just going to go into hard, and I'm going to go straight over top, and then my transparent background is now going to be selected. So now you can go into your edit, or no, sorry, select and deselect, or you can press Command D, and that's going to deselect absolutely everything. Now I'm going to zoom in because there were a few spots of my image that didn't actually get erased. I'm going to go back up to my size button here. I'm going to change my softness a little bit because I am going to be a little bit more closer to the bear, and I don't actually have him selected out anymore. So now I'm just going to go and kind of go over top just to make sure that I've got all of those outlines kind of covered. Sometimes they are extremely hard to see. You can just zoom in more and more and more to kind of find them. My paintbrush is just a little bit too soft, I think, and too big. There we go. We're just going to kind of go over, get those lines a little bit more softer. Now, if you go and accidentally do something like that, it's completely okay. You can either go into your file and undo paintbrush, or if you've maybe got like quite a few of them and you need to actually get that picture back, go make sure you're still on your paintbrush, switch your color into your white button, and then just paint back over top of it. It will put that picture straight back on top. So there we go. I'm not going to go over this whole entire thing now. Now to save it, you will want to make sure that, sorry, you click on your bottom layer, right click on it, and then merge visible. You don't want to flatten your image. If you flatten your image, it will actually turn it back into another photograph. You're going to have your white background. You're not going to have your transparent background. So make sure you click merge visible, sorry. And then go ahead and click your file, your save as. Now, when you're saving it, it will kind of automatically come up as Photoshop. You don't want it saved as a Photoshop format because only Photoshop basically can open that format back up. So you'll want to scroll back down all the way into PNG, TIFF, those kinds of files will be, PNG is a more accessible format. When you do use your PNG, you'll be able to upload that image on the web platform anywhere, basically. Make sure you have a save as copy and select save. When your PNG options come up, you want it as the slowest compression, and you want no interlace on there. So press OK. It's going to take a little while to kind of save because it's a huge format. Once it's completely done saving, which my computer is kind of a little bit slow. There's a lot of files on here. Or he might have just froze. We'll just wait until no, maybe I won't wait. I'll just tell you the next steps here because this could take a while. Generally, it doesn't take very long. My computer, like I said, has got a ton of photographs on it, so it's a little bit slow these days. But when you do exit out, to make sure that you have it in there, you can also go back over to your file and open. and or go into your actual file folder to see where it is. So I'm going to open up my file folder. Now I need to go and find that rabbit. Where did he go? I pressed T. Let's see, he hasn't saved yet. That could possibly be why. Oh, now he is. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into my file. There he is. And there is my flower bear. Now it's going to look as an image that's on your actual file that is an actual image. But when you open him up, you're going to see that he is either gray or he actually has a transparent background. As you can tell, now I can see that I needed to do a little bit more cleanup. That's easy with that paintbrush tool, but this, you know, it has actually worked. So when you actually log out of it, when you press the X to log out, it's going to come up with save again. You don't actually need to save it unless you want to save it as a print because he is already saved. So don't save and you are done. I hope that tutorial kind of helps you guys. If you have any questions, definitely don't hesitate to send me a message and let me know, and I will try and help out as quickly as I possibly can. Bye guys.